Hi everyone. In this session, let's understand this producer consumer problem. Yes, this is a very important interview question, and I'm sure that if you are going through this session, you'll be glad clarity what is the use of this and how you can implement this problem. Okay, I will explain. So in my last session, I have explained about types of the synchronization. You can go through it. Also there I explained all these synchronized method, synchronized block, and static synchronization, that is synchronized class. Okay, that mutual exclusive, all types of synchronization I explained by using a book my show app I develop, and I explained that. Okay, you can go through it. And in this session I'm going to explain this wait, notify, and notify all. Okay, so the best example is this producer consumer problem. Okay, to make you understand actually what is happening here, producer will produce one item and the same item consumer will consume it. Here condition is producer will produce the item and will wait until the consumer will consume that same, and consumer will consume the item and it will wait until the producer will produce the items. It will send the notification. Okay, so don't worry, I will make it simple. Okay, so for example, let's say there is a company. Okay, I can say here you are having a company. Let's say there is a company, and in that company we are having two machine. Okay, one machine is producing the items. Let's say this machine is producing the item, and another machine is there. Another machine is consuming the item. Let's say this is producer machine. So this is producing the items. Okay, this machine is producing the item, and we are having consumer machine. So this machine is consuming the item, and this machine managed by a company. Let's say it is a company, and in this company we are having two person. One person is Hari. We can say Hari, who is, by using this machine, he is producing one item. Producing item. Okay, so Hari is a thread. It is a thread. So Hari is a thread. So what it is doing? It is producing the item. Once it is producing the item, the same item consumed by another thread, another person called Naren. So this is also a thread. That means this produce item and consume item managed by two threads. Produce item managed by Hari, which is who is producing a product, and consumer, this by using this consume machines, another thread Naren is consuming. Okay, whatever item is producing. The condition is there is a buffer. There is a buffer space here. At once only one item is producing, and once the item is produced by this producer, okay, the same item will consume by this consumer by using these two threads. Okay, so the condition is once the item is produced, it will be consumed by this person, and after consuming it will notify, hey, I consumed, you produce one more. So one, it will be one more will be produced and one more will be consumed. So the thing is, if the item is available here, not consumed yet, the producer will wait because item already there. Once the consumer will consume it, then only producer will, it will be empty, right? Producer will fill it. Okay, so that is the condition. Let's see how we will implement. So what I will do, I will create a company class. In that I will write two methods. One method will be produce the item, another method will consume the items, and I will create two threads to manage that. Let's see. Okay, I will write code for you. It will be easy only. Okay. So let me create a package. I will say test. Okay. I will create a company class. And in that we'll have two methods. One method is public void produce item, and another method is public void consume item. So it will produce means what it will produce, we need to give input, right? Let's say I'm giving n, and let me print one sysout statement. I will say item produced, something like that. I will say I will print it, and here consumer will consume means it will return something. So let me say it will return int, and I will say sysout. Item consumed. Return n. So actually whatever item we are producing, same item will consume. So I will take a common variable int n, and what I will do, whatever item is producing, that item I'm initializing this dot n. This matlab, this means this one, the current object, n equal to, I will say n, and here that this dot n you can mention, actually this dot n, it is consuming. That's all. So nothing. What I did, I created a company class. So who is having two methods. One is produce item, another is consume item. Right. This company class I created and two methods I created, produce item and consume item. Now I will do one thing. You see, whenever producer is producing, that times consumer should not disturb, any other thread should not disturb. Okay, so for that I will make here synchronized. We will say synchronized. So like this I can say this is also synchronized. That means independently, once the producer is producing, at the same times consumer should not consume, consumer should wait. That's what I make it synchronized. Okay, now to run this produce item and consume item, I will create two threads. Okay, let me create two threads. One thread is I will say producer. Here I told you, right, we'll have two threads. One thread will use this method to produce the item, another thread use this consume methods to consume the items. Okay, that's what I'm creating this. So that's what I'm creating this. So let's say I will say producer thread. How to create a thread? We need to extend thread class or implements runnable interface. Here I'm extending thread class. Okay, so for that I will override this run method, public void run method. So this run method, what it will do, this run method will call this company class. Okay, this company class produce item method, because this is the producer thread. So how to call that method? We need to call that method, and whenever you will call, you need to pass one variable. Let's say int I am saying I equal to 1. I am initializing and I am passing that I. And how to call a method. This produce item is a method which is present in company class, right? To call this method, I need to create an object of this company class, right? Then only I can call. This is a non-static methods, right? So let me create that reference. I will say company C. So I will create physical object and I will call this. This is not recommended. So each time actually we'll call this run method by using this producer. We need to pass that company object. So for that, what I will do, I will create a parameterized constructor here. So this by using this parameterized constructor, I will initialize. So what I will do, I will say company. Whenever I will create this producer object, I will pass this reference. So I will say this dot c equal to c, and now by using this c, I will call this. So this is okay. What I'm trying to say, instead of each time physically creating the object, I will pass the reference here. Whenever I will create this producer object, right, that time I will pass that company object. So that reference will hold, and that reference with use of that reference will call that method. So it's simple only. I wanted to call that produce method. Why I wanted to call the produce method? Because I wanted to produce the product, okay, by using this method. So this is company class. How to call that company class methods? We need a reference, we need a object of that. So this is the way to pass the object, okay. So you see, so producer continuously will produce the object, okay. So I will say while, so I can say infinite time. So I will say while true. I will say infinite time you produced one, then consumer will consume one, like this, then produce two. So each time I will increase plus plus. That means each time one new product will produce, one will produce, then two will produce, like that it will be, okay. So like this producer thread will produce the product by using this produce item which is belongs to company class. So like this, let's create a consumer thread. Similar only. I will copy paste. I will say consumer. So what it will do? Like producer, consumer will consume it. You see? Same things only. But here I will call that consume item. I will not call that produce, because here consuming. So consumer which consuming. So it will not take any parameters. So don't need that. Okay. So you see. So this is continuously consuming, and this is continuously, this is producer continuously producing, right? So now we'll have a main class, okay, which will run that. We'll create this producer and consumer object. Here this producer is a thread, consumer is a thread. Both are using this company method. Producer produces item and consume item, right? So what I will do, I will create a main class where I will create two thread object, consumer object and producer object. I will start that two threads, consumer, producer and consumer at a time. Then only the it will work, right? So I will create a main class, okay. I will say main. What I will do, I will create two thread object. How to create consumer and product producer? You see, I will say producer p equal to new producer. You see, if we'll create this producer object, right? If we'll create this producer object, then we need this company class reference, right? Because you see, here we need the company class object, right? So here we need, so we'll pass that. So this is a main class. Better we'll create main method. Inside this, we'll create this producer object. But before creating the producer object, we need this company class object, right? I'll say company comp new company, and this company object will pass. Like this, we'll create consumer object. Consumer C equal to new consumer. And this consumer object also will pass that company. Then what we will do? This is producer thread, this is consumer thread. So at a time we'll start p dot start. So the start internally will call the run method. Then consumer dot start. So two threads parallelly we start. So producer will produce the object, then consumer will consume the object. You see they are producing, consuming very fast. Okay, so what I will do, I will put a sleep method to make you understand. So here I will put a sleep method in the producer. So after calling this, call this sleep method, thread dot sleep. So I will give 1000 microseconds, means 1 second. Okay, let me surrounded with try catch. Okay, so I am saying you produced it, then wait 1 second, produce it. Like this in consumer, I will put that before you consume, then wait 1 second, thread dot sleep I will put. I will say 1000 microsecond. So it will be 1 second, it will be wait. So now let's see what is the output. You see, producer is producing one item, then consumer is consuming the same. Now I'm stopping it. We see producer producing one item, consumer is consuming it. Producer consuming two item, means item number 2, then consumer consuming 2. Producing 3, consume 3. 4, 4. 5, 5. Okay, you see this is producer consumer problem. But here see what I will do, I will make some more delay in the consume case. Producer is consuming in 1 second, but consumer is little lazy, so I am giving 2 seconds to consume it. Now I will run it. Let's see what is happening. You see what is happening, you observe here. Producer producing 1, then consumer consumed it. Then 2 produced, consumed 2. Producer produced 3, consume. You see, producer here produced 2 items, 3 and 4. But consumer is lazy, only 4 consumed. Then producer produced 2 items, 5, 6. But only 6 is get consumed. Then producer consumed 7, 8, but only 1 consumed. That means producer is working fast, but consumer is little lazy. So even though some of the item is produced, you see here 5, 6 both produced, right? But only 6 is consumed. So here we are not obeying the rule. Producer consumer problem means once producer will produce one item, means that item has to consumed by consumer. But here what we saw the deviation is producer is producing more item, but consumer is not able to consume it. So what is the problem? Actually they are doing, producer is producing, consumer is consuming, they are doing the job is correctly, but the problem is they are not communicating to each other. So here 2 threads. That means because we made little bit delay at the time of consuming, that's what problem happened. But here we need to put a condition like once the producer produced, and it has to wait until the consumer consumed it. So once the producer is produced, how the consumer will know that it has produced and I have to do my job, I have to consume it. So producer first will produce it, then it has to notify. It has to notify to the consumer, hey, I have produced, can you consume it? So consumer will do the jobs, like consumer will consume the items, and after consuming it, how the producer will know that he has consumed and I have to produce a new item. So consumer after consuming has to notify. So here one person will wait until another person will do the jobs. So how to do that? So here we need to make the inter-thread communication. In between we need to make a communication by using wait and notify. So for that what I will do, I will create a flag I will say boolean flag equal to, I will initialize false. You can initialize anything, false or true. Then I will put condition like this. If, let's say, if flag equal to, flag equal to false, then producer chance. If flag equal to false, then producer chance. If I will say if flag equal to true, then consumer chance. That means if flag equal to, if flag will false, then producer chance means producer will work. That means consumer has to wait. If flag equal to false, whenever flag equal to false means, if I'll say not false, that means true. Then if flag equal to false, then it is producer chance. That means producer will work, but consumer has to wait. I will call the wait method. That means what I'm trying to say, if flag equal to false, then consumer has to wait and producer has to work. So false, not false means true. So I will make like this. I will make a try catch block. Okay. So I am saying if flag equal to false, not false means it is producer chance. That means producer will work. If false will come means consumer has to wait. How consumer will wait? I will say not false. Not false means true. So consumer will wait, and whenever it is false, that time consumer will wait. If it is not false, then consumer will consumed. That means it is true. It will consumed and it will initialize to true to false. You see, if it is false, then it will wait. If it is true, it will not wait. It will consumed, and it is consumed. It was true, and it will make it false, and it will be notified to producer. It will call to notify. Okay. So like this, if I will say if flag equal to true, if flag true, then consumer chance. That means producer will wait. Consumer chance means consumer will work, producer will wait if flag equal to true. Sorry. Let's use try catch block. That is recommended instead of throwing the exception. Okay. So if flag equal to true, then that is consumer chance. That means producer will wait. If flag equal to false, then consumer will not, the producer will not wait. Producer will produce. So if it is true means it will wait. If it is false means it will produce. After producing, that flag will make it you see, flag means true. If it is not true, that means false. False means it will produce. After that, it will make it true. Then it will notify. It's simple only. So how they are communicating? Now you see. Now if you run, there is no problem. You will not get chance multiple product will be produced. One product will be produced means the same product will be consumed. Then only another new product will be produced. You see the output. You see, one product is producing, then same product is consuming. Then another new product is producing, consuming. Producing, consuming, producing, consuming, producing, consuming. You see how simple? So because of what we did a inter-thread communication by using this wait and notify method. Okay, you can write your own logic. So this is the way actually. So producer consumer problem, I hope it is clear. Okay, you see, there is a company we are having one produce item and one consume item, two methods, and this produce item method run by one thread, that is producer thread. Consume item method run by another thread, that is called another consumer thread. And the condition is at a time only one product will be produced and the same product will be consumed, then only one new product will be produced. And how this producer consumer will produce and will wait and consume will wait for producer, their inter-thread communication they are making by using this wait notify method. So this is called producer consumer problem, and this is the solutions I given. So what you need to do, you need to write two threads, producer threads and consumer threads, and one class is company class. Okay, so here the threads are communicating to each other. Why you made synchronize? Because you logged it, right? Whenever producer is producing, that time consumer should not disturb. Okay, that's what you made this log. Okay, so it is simple now. So why this main class? You have to create the producer object and consumer object, and you need to start both the thread at a time. Okay, so if you really got something, please subscribe if you are new to the channel, and please let me know any new, like we are having priority queue, other solutions also. You let me know in your comment section if you have any doubts, and if you have any suggestion. Please like my video and comment anything. It will be really motivate me to create new videos for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let's meet in new videos.